So this morning we will sing first Kabhi Habhi Bolo, which is a song from Sharanagati by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Kabhi habhi bolo se din hamar, kabhi habhi bolo se din amar, aparada goche shudanama ruchi kripa bolo habhi bolo se sanchar. Aparada goche shudanama ruchi kripa bole habhi bolo re sanchar. Aparada goche shudanama ruchi kripa bole habhi hridaye sanchar. Kabhi habhi bolo se din hamar, Trinadi kahina kabhi nijamani samshudari sahishnuta guna hridaye san hridaye ani. Trinadi kahina kabhi nijamani sahishnuta guna hridaye teyani. Sakale manada apani amani hayashwati bonhamara sasar. Sakale manada apani amani hayashwati bonhamara sasar. Dana Janoar Kobita Sundari Bolibona Chahi Deho Sukha Kari. Dana Janar Kobita Sundari Bolibona Chahi Deho Sukha Kari. Janme janme dao, oh he Gaurahari, I tukhi bhakti charane tomar. Janme janme dao, oh he Gaurahari, I tukhi bhakti hridaye Chanaye tomar. Karite Shri Krishna nama uparana Pulakita deho gad gad bhajana. Karite Shri Krishna Nama Ucharana Pulakito Deho Gadgadha Bachana. Vaibhanya Bepatu Haibe Sangatana Nirantara Netri Babe Ashrudar. Vaibhanya Bepatu Haibe Sangatana Nirantara Netri Babe Ashrudar. Kabinabadvipe Suradunitate Gora Nityananda Bolo Nishkapate. Kabinabadvipe Suradunitate Gora Nityananda Bolo Nishkapate. Nachia Gaya Berai Bochute Batulera Praya Chariya Bichar. Nadia Paya Berai Bochute Batulera Praya Chariya Bichar. Kabe Nityananda More Kore Daya Chare Bimara Vishayera Maya. Kabe Nityananda More Kore Daya Chare Bimara Vishayera Maya. Diamora Nija Charanera Chaya Namer Habate Tibi Adikar. Diamora Nija Charanera Chaya Namer Hatate Tibi Adikar. Kini Balutibo Harinamarasa Namarasi Mati Bhoi Bibi Basa. Kini Balutibo Harinamarasa Namarasa Mati Hoi Bibi Basa. Rasara Rasika Charana Parasa Kore Amajibo Raseani Bar. Rasara rasika charana parasa Korea machi porase anibar Kabiji bedoya hoy bedoya Nija sukha boli siddhina hridaya Kabiji bedoya hoy bedoya Nija sukha boli siddhina hridaya Bhakati vinoda Korea vinaya Shri Agnata hala koribe prajat Bhakati vinoda Korea vinaya Shri Agnata hala koribe prachar Kabi habi bolo se dinhama Aparadagoche Shudanamaruche Kripa Bale Habir Hridaye Sanchar Kabe Habi Bolo Se Din Hamar Kabe Habibolo se dinhamar. Please tell me, when will that day be mine, when my offenses will end, and a taste for the pure holy name will be infused within my heart by the power of divine grace. Considering myself lower than a blade of grass, bringing the quality of forbearance into my heart, showing respect to all, myself being freed from all false pride, when will I taste the essence of the liquid nectar of the holy name? Wealth, followers, beautiful women, as described in worldly poetry, I do not want any such bodily pleasures. O Lord Gauranga, please give me unmotivated devotion to your lotus feet, birth after birth. When, while articulating the divine name of Sri Krishna, will my body be thrilled in ecstatic rapture, and my words be choked with emotion? When will pallor and trembling occur? And when will streams of tears flow constantly from my eyes? When in the land of Navadweep, on the banks of the Ganges, will I run about, bank in guilelessly calling out, O Gora, O Nityananda, dancing and singing like a madman, giving up all mundane considerations. When will Lord Nityananda be merciful to me and release me from the illusion of worldliness, giving me the shade of his lotus feet? When will he allow me to enter the marketplace of the holy name? I shall buy and plunder the mellows of the name of Hari, and becoming thoroughly intoxicated with those liquid mellows of the holy name, I shall become stunned. By touching the lotus feet of the great souls who are able to relish those mellows, I will be constantly immersed in the sweet nectar of the holy name. When will there be an awakening of compassion for all fallen souls? And when will this Bhakti Vinod, forgetting his own happiness, with a meek heart, set out to propagate by humble entreaty the sacred order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Sarasatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayat Nastapaeshu Vabhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. We're reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 8, Prayers by Queen Kunti, text number 20. Tata Paramahamsanam Muninam Amalatmanam Bhakti Yoga Vidanartam Katam Pashyema Hi Striya Tata Paramahamsanam Muninam Amalatmanam Bhakti Yoga Vidanartam Katam Pashye Mahistriya Tata Paramahamsanam Muninam Amalatmanam Bhakti Yoga Vidanartam Katam Pashye Mahistriya Tata Paramahamsanam Muninam Amalatmanam Bhakti Yoga Vidanartam Katam Pashye Mahistriya. Ladies? Tata, besides that, Paramahamsanam of the advanced transcendentalists, Muninam of the great philosophers or mental speculators, Amal Atmanam, those whose minds are competent to discern between spirit and matter. Bhakti Yoga, the science of devotional service. Vidana Artam, for executing. Katam, how. Pashyema, can observe. He, certainly. Striyaha, women. Translation: you yourself descend to propagate the transcendental science of devotional service into the hearts of the advanced transcendentalists and mental speculators who are purified by being able to discriminate between matter and spirit. How then can we women know you perfectly? Please repeat. You yourself descend to propagate the transcendental science of devotional service unto the hearts of the advanced transcendentalists and mental speculators who are purified by being able to discriminate between matter and spirit. How then can we women know you perfectly? Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Even the greatest philosophical speculators cannot have access to the region of the Lord. It is said in the Upanishads that the Supreme Truth, the absolute personality of Godhead, is beyond the range of the thinking power of the greatest philosopher. He is unknowable by great learning or by the greatest brain. He is knowable only by one who has his mercy. Others may go on thinking about him for years together, yet he is unknowable. This very fact is corroborated by the queen who is playing the part of an innocent woman. Women in general are unable to speculate like philosophers, but they are blessed by the Lord because they believe at once in the superiority and almightiness of the Lord, and thus they offer obeisances without reservation. The Lord is so kind that he does not show special favor only to one who is a great philosopher. He knows the sincerity of purpose. For this reason only, women generally assemble in great number in any sort of religious function, in every country and in every sect of religion. It appears that the women are more interested than the men. This simplicity of acceptance of the Lord's authority is more effective than showy, insincere religious fervor. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chaksurun Militanyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Bandeham Shri Guru Shri Yata Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sakrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajevam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanitamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare. Queen Kunti is offering her prayers to Lord Sri Krishna. Queen Kunti is describing one of the reasons why Lord Krishna descends to this world, that he descends to reveal himself to the advanced transcendentalists and mental speculators. Because Lord Krishna cannot be known simply by philosophical speculation and simply by being an advanced transcendentalist. That is not the qualification to know the Lord. Srila Prabhupada said, the Lord is known by one who has his mercy. We have to get the mercy of Krishna to know Krishna. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam pritipurvikam dadami buddhi yogam tam yenamam upayantite. And then he says, Tesham ivanu kampartam aham magyana jam tamaha nashiyami atma bhavasto jnana dipena bhashvataha. Krishna says, to those who are constantly devoted and who worship me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. And then he said, out of compassion for them, I, dwelling in their heart, destroy the darkness of ignorance with the lamp of knowledge. So it's Lord Krishna who allows himself to be known. Otherwise, if there's no material qualification by which we can know the Lord. The Lord, Prabhupada writes here, the Lord can understand the sincerity of the purpose. Who really wants to know Krishna? Who actually has genuine devotion? The actual qualification is devotion. It's not that we have to be a big scholar or a great mental speculator. And Queen Kunti is very humbly saying, how could we women know you? Queen Kunti is saying like this, but Prabhupada, on the other hand, Prabhupada turns it around and says that actually the women are more qualified than the men. And he said, we can actually see in our Krishna consciousness movement, outside of India, we get much more women than we get men. Most of the devotees are women. And there's always less men in the other countries outside of India. Here in India, of course, we get a lot of men, and the ladies are less. But outside of India, it's the other way around. And it doesn't mean that because the women in the temple are less, that they're less devoted. Actually, the women are more devoted than the men. They have genuine humility, and they're often willing to do a lot of service. And Srila Prabhupada recognized that, and he gave equal opportunity for men and women in Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada went to the West, and he never thought women would come to the Krishna consciousness movement. But when Prabhupada was having his programs, just let me hold it. When Prabhupada was having his programs, women would come, the ladies would come, and they would want to also get initiation. And Prabhupada was at first surprised. But then he continued it. He allowed it because he saw that in the Western countries, women have equal position. Prabhu, please. Prabhu, I don't need it. When women have equal position with the men, the women and the men generally mix quite freely in the Western countries. So Prabhupada saw that tendency there, and therefore he allowed women also to come to the Krishna consciousness movement, and he initiated them. And we see in the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna himself recognizes also women. He said, Striho Vaishyas Tata Sudras Te Piyanti Param Gatim. Mami Partha Vaipashritya Yepi Su Papayonaya Striho Vaishyas Tata Sudras Te Piyanti Param Gatim. That even though one may be of lower birth, like women, Sudra and Vaishya, they can attain the supreme destination because they are properly situated. So Prabhupada gave this opportunity that the ladies can also take up Krishna consciousness, and they do a lot of service. When it comes to book distribution, at least in the countries around the world, we see a lot of ladies are very good in distributing books. They're very expert. They know how to sell books. Prabhupada was talking, the one lady from America, her name was Mula Prakriti. Mula Prakriti, she was a famous book distributor in the West. And she would distribute books in the airports to people. And so Prabhupada was talking to her, and he was encouraging her. And Prabhupada was talking to her about salesmanship, and he was talking also about women, young girls, and Prabhupada talked about his own daughters, and like that. Like that, Prabhupada showed great affection for the ladies and encouraged them in Krishna consciousness. So we don't discriminate between men and women. And here we see Queen Kunti. She's the most elevated, she's a great devotee. And she's offering wonderful prayers to Lord Krishna. And she's describing that it's so difficult for advanced transcendentalists even to know Krishna. Right? There's a verse in the Brahma Samhita, Yashya Prabha Prabhavato Jagadanda Kotim Kotishvashesha Vasadati Vibhuti Binnam Tad Brahma Nishkalam Shabutam Govindamadip. Right? That even for the yogi, the muni, who travels at the speed of the mind, he can hardly approach the tip of the toe of the lotus feet of Govinda. That even if you're traveling at the speed of the mind, the Muni Pungavanam, right? The speed of the mind, how fast the mind can go, much faster than anything, any ordinary vehicle that we know. You may have jet planes that can fly across the planet, but the mind can go faster, the speed of the mind. And so the munis also, they may travel at the speed of the mind, but even then, they cannot approach the tip of the toe of the lotus feet of Govinda. Because you cannot approach Krishna by any material means. The qualification to come to Krishna is devotion, bhakti. He can be known only by devotion. Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavam yaschasmin tatvataha. Krishna said, only by devotion can I be understood. So when Krishna reveals himself to the devotee, he can understand the sincerity of the purpose. If somebody just simply wants to waste Krishna's time, then why should Krishna bother to reveal himself? Just like there's a story, there was one old lady. She was making her living by collecting dry wood in the forest. And she would collect all the dry wood, then she would take it to the market and sell it. And in this way she was able to maintain her life. So one day she had a big basket of wood on her head. And she dropped the basket, she tripped, and the basket fell over and all the wood fell down. So what to do? She prayed to the Lord, "Oh God, oh Krishna, oh Bhagavan, please come, please help me." So the Lord appeared and he said, "Yes, what do you want?" She says, "Can you help me put this wood back on my head?" So, was that very intelligent thing to ask? Help me put that load back on my head. That was her request. So sometimes people, often people go to God, but they just simply ask, like that woman, Help me put the load back on my head. Give me the burden of material life. What we should be asking the Lord, we don't ask for. We don't know what to ask God for. We're asking Him, oh, give me home, give me wife, give me nice life by the sea, Om Jai Jagadisha Hare. Right? Sometimes we sing like that in the Hindu temples, you know. They sing the songs, but it's all, give me, give me, give me. Give me the burden on my head, right? They're asking stupidly. So these kind of prayers, these requests, they're not very pleasing to Krishna. Krishna is not so attracted by these people who come with all these prayers, what they want, requesting, give me this, give me that. No, that's not very pleasing. The Lord will not reveal Himself to these kinds of people. The Lord, however, does reveal Himself to those who have the sincere purpose in mind. Just as Queen Kunti, she's very humble, and she's praying, how can we women know you? She considers herself to be unqualified. But Srila Prabhupada is saying that very mode of thinking oneself to be unqualified, that is the qualification to know Krishna. The more we consider ourselves to be low and fallen and unqualified, that is the actual qualification to come to know the Lord. But if we are thinking of ourselves that I'm very qualified, then that will not be good. That's not going to help you to know the Lord. Therefore, Queen Kunti said, you come to reveal yourself to the hearts of these mental speculators and so-called advanced transcendentalists. There's a similar verse in the Mahabharata, which also appears in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, which describes who actually knows the Lord and how you can know the Lord. Tarko pratishta shrutayo vibina nasavrishir yashya natam vibinam dharmashya tadvam nihitam gohayam. Yes, right. Mahajano yena gata sapan. Tarko pratishta, dry arguments are inconclusive. Just simply arguing about the nature of the absolute truth, that will not help us. And shrutayo vibina, you may know the shrutis, you may know the Vedic literatures very well, but shrutayo vibina, the conclusions of the scriptures are often contradictory. It's difficult to know the Lord from the scriptures. In one place, they may say one thing about, they'll say the Lord is without form, and the other place they'll say the Lord has a form. So it becomes bewildering. Does the Lord have a form or does He not have a form? Is the Lord transcendental or not? There are many things about Krishna which are difficult to understand. And similarly, the Vedic literature. It says in the Vedas, just like Ishopanishad, tad ejati, tad naejati, tad dure, tad vantike, tad antarashya sarvashya, tadu sarvashya bharata. The Supreme Lord walks, and He does not walk. Huh? He walks and He doesn't walk. He's far away, but He's very near as well. What? Contradictions. He's within everything, but He's outside of everything also. So this is the Vedas, the Upanishads from the Vedas. You can see the contradictions. They're difficult. Therefore, Bhishma Dev, in this verse from Mahabharata, it said, Shrutayo Vibhina. From the Shruti, very difficult to know the absolute truth. Nasav Rishir Yashya Natam Bidbinam. The rishis, the great sages, the great thinkers, they will come up with their thinking, their theory, and they will say one thing, and another rishi will come and defeat it. And then another rishi will come and defeat him. And in this way, they will never come to any conclusion. They're trying to find conclusion. They never get any conclusion. They just simply argue, and it goes on. This is Kali Yuga, age of quarrel, argument, arguing over little things. Nobody actually knows, but everybody claims to be an authority. And they think, I know, listen to me. And they say something, and then somebody else comes along and defeats that. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, before he revealed himself as a devotee, he was showing his pastimes in scholarship. And he was debating with so many other people there. Whenever he would meet the devotees, he would debate with them. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was teaching logic. He was teaching Nyaya. So Vedanta Sutra is based on Nyaya, logic. This is all arguing. The Vedanta, read the Vedanta Sutra, you get a lot of, it's quite confusing. Because it's Nyaya, it's logic. And logic, you present logic one way, you can present it another way. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would say one thing, and then he would defeat it, and then he would say something else, then he would defeat that, and in this way, go on. So this is the path of logic. The great sages, the rishis, they're all involved in that. And of course, you know, Keshava Kashmiri came there to Navadvip, and Lord Chaitanya debated with him. And he was a great scholar, he was a great student of Saraswati. He had the blessings of Saraswati. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu defeated him. And Keshava Kashmiri then understood that there was somebody above Saraswati. People worship scholars, and they worship Saraswati. They should simply worship Lord Krishna or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and they can get the ultimate blessings. So the sages cannot give any real conclusion. So how to know what is the absolute truth? So therefore it is said, Dharmasya tatvam nehitam guayam mahajano yena gatapasapan. That the absolute truth is hidden in the hearts of the pure devotees. You want to know the absolute truth? It's in the hearts of the pure devotees. How to understand it? Mahajano yena gata sapanta. You have to follow in the footsteps of the Mahajans. Then it can be understood. So Srila Prabhupada talks about how all different religions all over the world, the women are more religious. They're more pious. They're more devoted than the men. They're more qualified to actually know the Lord. But we are often neglectful. We don't give the women so much opportunity. Nowadays, just recently, one lady in the Krishna consciousness movement gave initiation. She's the first woman in our Krishna consciousness movement to accept disciples. Sometimes people ask, can women also be Diksha Gurus? So, Prabhupada explained that they can be, but it's not very common. It's not very common. It's a very rare woman who can take that kind of position. So in the past, there were ladies like Lord Nityananda he had 2 wives. So after Lord Nityananda departed, Janava, one of his wives, she became a spiritual master. And she actually became the Acharya of the Sampradaya. So she took a very prominent role. But at the same time, she was very discreet. She did not put herself in front of everyone. But it was understood that she was a very elevated soul. And she was told, she was ordered by the Lord himself that she should accept disciples and she should initiate people. And she did give some initiations. And then there was another lady who was the daughter of Srinivas Acharya. Srinivas Acharya, of course, we said the other day, Srinivas Acharya was one of the students in Jiva Goswami's school. He had gone there to Vrindavan and he studied under Jiva Goswami, and he was one of the top students along with Shyamananda Prabhu and Narottam Das. So the 3 of them were all very expert in music. They were all very expert musicians and they could sing beautiful kirtan. And Narottam, we know he wrote many beautiful songs. So Shyamananda and Srinivas Acharya, he wrote the Goswami ISKCON. And he was a very accomplished preacher also. So these 3 were prominent. So Srinivas, he married. Narottam never married. Shyamananda also never married, but Srinivas married. And he had a daughter. His daughter was called Hemalata Thakurani. And so from her childhood, she had revealed herself to be a very special soul. And later on she grew up as a woman and she also accepted disciples. But it's not very common. So while we give respect to the women, we have to understand there's certain restrictions there. Just like women don't take sannyas. Now there are some places where they do give women sannyas, where they put women in saffron robes. But that's not the Vedic culture. That's not Vedic at all. So women don't take sannyas. Why not? Because women should be protected. In the Vedic culture, women need to be protected. And protection should come when they're young girls, they're protected by their father. Later on, they should be married, and then they'll be protected by the husband. And then in old age, they will be taken care of by their child. So in this way, the woman is looked after and given protection. Not that they can become sannyasis and go traveling and preaching and doing things like that. That's not expected of women. But they do give lectures. They do give classes. They're scholarly people. We have a number of scholarly ladies in our Krishna consciousness movement. And they write articles. If you read our magazine, Back to Godhead, and also we see many other publications, you'll see that ladies are also active in writing and publishing. And so they have the knowledge of Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Ramananda Rai that the birth is not important. We don't discriminate against people, is that they should know the science of Krishna. Kiba Vipra Kiba